Luca Nation. I'm starting to fall in love with this Saturday episode because it gives us a chance to be a little bit more long-winded, a little more casual. You know, during the week we're in the flow of things. We got a million things going on now, and honestly, a lot of those are thanks to our community.
Loosey-goosey.
Luau. The luau.
Okay, that's right. That works.
All right. Do you know what that's from?
No, I have no idea. It's probably from like some Ben Stiller thing.
Luau. It's from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Anyway,
I only like comedies. I like comedies, man.
I like that. That movie was funny. That's a funny movie. I like that Sarah Marshall one. That actor, what's Jason Segel? He reminds me of my brother. A big oafish, like an oafish, funny man. Fun stuff. So Saturday, man, what do you got going on this weekend?
Working, man. Working. Doing a lot of calls with people who are still trying to buy into our Tiger NFT and teaching them the ways of buying Ether, transferring Ether to a MetaMask. And you know what's cool about that is a lot of people who've been doing that, they're now buying into other NFTs too because they see how simple and easy that is. Connecting with Panini Direct, the Panini blockchain guys, they were that was an awesome episode we had yesterday. Over 550 views in less than 24 hours, which shows how much reach, whether that's digital collectibles, digital sports card have, or normal sports cards.
You're talking about YouTube, right? On YouTube?
Yeah, just YouTube. Yeah. Just YouTube.
We don't really promote YouTube. It's like just one of the things we put out there. So
I don't check the numbers on Spotify and Apple. That's your thing.
Yeah, I mean we have more than that and listens, but it's interesting that the YouTube is growing and yeah, man. I mean, we got a lot of feedback from that episode. We really did. And you want to tell the folks listening out there in the ether? You want to tell the folks out there listening what Brett did following our show yesterday?
I do. By the way, I had no idea. I set the StreamYard up wrong, so we are live on YouTube, actually.
Cool. Lovely.
So kind of a little surprise if people are subscribers. We're live for this. My bad, guys. I should have let you know. But
he tells me, he says, hey, you want to go live? And I'm like, no, you're always yelling at me that I got to prepare better. And he's like, I never said that. I'm like, okay, it's in my brain then. I'm like,
I didn't say that.
Got to let people know. Got to let people know we're going to be live, So now we got 3 people watching. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
So you do know the numbers, you mother.
I don't know the numbers. I just said 3 because it's a good number. Is there only 3?
It's exactly 3.
Good guess.
So over the last year, businesses have made a lot of money. Like there's no way to sugarcoat that. Businesses that have been in the hobby, they've made a lot of money. And one thing I would want to see is those businesses give back more. And Brett did. So yesterday we were having a Panini conversation. It was towards the end, and he said, guys, let's pick 10 winners from your audience, and we're going to drop 10 packs in their account. And what's cool about that is, one, how easy gifting is with digital products, right? Like here we are, we give things away, but we have to ship them and get addresses and all that stuff. So he generously gave 10 packs to our community. We had some fun. He was wearing a hat, so we asked what team's on the back.
Yeah,
a little trivia. So thank you, Panini. Thank you, Brett. Thank you for being generous, right? Because that's really what it's all about. Like, we want to get our community involved. We want to build relationships with our community. Our community spends money with these businesses, and I do want to see businesses who've had success in the last year give more back. So thank you, guys.
And that dude's coming back on. And guys, listen, what's funny is, in addition to what he did as far as giving out packs, what I was talking about, what he did after he left the show, Brett from Panini, was he bought a tiger. He went out and he bought a tiger NFT. Which is really cool because it's somebody who clearly understands the interplay between people who do cards and people who do digital. I mean, he's making digital cards, right? So he understands what we're trying to do. He understands the vision there. And, he did pretty good. And what's amazing is the coming together of all the stuff. He happened to buy one where one of our listeners was doing a giveaway. And so not only did Brett get a tiger, but he also was going to get a card from a competitor. He's going to get a card sent to him by one of our Tiger owners, one of Luca Nation, and that's pretty cool. Can I kind of expand a little bit on it as well? That Panini episode from yesterday, why I thought it was so awesome. We're in Discords all over the place. We're in different groups. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere, and we kind of, because we want to bring you content about a bunch of things, whether it's Top Shot or Panini Digital or Cardboard or Lamine James and what he's talking about today in the meme world. You know what I mean? Like we're all over the place. We're in groups everywhere. But the Panini group, they were buzzing yesterday. You know, the people we talked to about Panini were like, oh, man, you got to ask this, and this. You know, you did a great job. We're glad they answered. But what about this? And, you know, what's great about the group, somebody asked, hey, you know, why buy a tiger, right? And no sales pitch, but why buy a tiger, right? And it's, you know, you become part of the group. You become part of Luca Nation. And what we were doing before the episode in our Discord was, hey, we're having Panini on. Anybody have any questions? Ask away. You know, it's in the group there. It's part of the value that my partner here, Andrew, provides by booking Panini and getting them on and asking those questions. And we can ask that on your behalf, right? Because I think if you were to just ask them yourself, you probably would just get a bot or, you know, customer service rep somewhere who wasn't going to answer the question. So it's just cool stuff. We love building the community. We love being able to bring that stuff to you guys. You know, and if we have access to something, we want to give you access to that as well. So that's it. It was just my couple minutes of why I thought yesterday was really cool. Great to be able to ask questions. Great to be able to information share and just kind of like behind the scenes, guys. We talked to Brett, what would you say, for another hour after? 45 minutes? I mean, we definitely spoke to him for a while after the episode and gave more suggestions, more ideas, you know, bounced ideas off of each other about things that could move the product forward. So that's really cool.
So you guys know what I spoke about OpenSea and how it's OpenSea is the eBay for NFT sales, and in August they had 3 billion in transactions. I want to ask you something, Cage. Let's have some fun here. And Luca Nation, as you guys are joining, I put this in our groups that we're live on YouTube. How much money in resale value right now is tied up at PSA? And I asked this question for a reason, but I want to have some fun and kind of estimate, right? Let's say they have a $1 million 1 million card backlog.
Yeah, so between $50 and $100 million.
50 and 100 million. What impact do you think that has on our slowdown in terms of card prices going up or down?
It's huge,
right?
It's huge, and the reason for it is you may not get the right NFT, but somebody is. Every day there's something where somebody is taking money and turning it into something else. And that money is just immediately going right back into the ecosystem, which is the way it was when PSA was open, when all the grading companies were open and churning that stuff. You were getting something back every month. You were keeping some. You were selling a lot of other stuff, or you were selling it all. And you were getting that money. You were turning it back into more stuff. And you're sending it back to PSA. And there was this constant, steady flow for people of income, for reinvestable income, and to grow your pot bigger each and every month, which has basically just been dead now since March.
It's volatility, right? We talk about it, right? Like Bitcoin could go up 50% and then it could drop 35% and drop 50%. That volatility also used to happen in cards, and it's important to have it. So I'm curious, it was kind of like an open question. What do you guys think? You guys that listen to our show every day, you've listened since day one, you guys know the world, you know the market. How do you stimulate the card market? How do you get more money in? Kay, do you have any ideas? You have any, and maybe is it something the companies can do?
Yeah, stop being such brats. The card hobby is a bunch of brats. Everybody's a complainer. Everybody's annoying, and everybody out there, everybody.
I am Venom. By the way, you got so much love for that Venom voice. People want you to do the Dark Knight next.
Oh, nice. I can do the Dark Knight. I can. I got to get into it. No, but
we'll save it till the end. Save it till the end.
No, here's my take. Right. So we're lucky because we literally have the best community in the world. You really do. We have the best community out there, right? But not everybody falls into that category. And I can't really blame folks, right? I can't really blame folks because people have gotten into this hobby in the last 6 months. It's been hard. Like, they've come in and I'll explain it one of two ways. They've come in and it's either been a huge uphill battle for them. They're climbing, they're clawing, they're trying to scratch away and figure out a way to do it. Or they came in at the top of the mountain and they've just been falling down the mountain, hurting themselves each way on the way the prices are going down. So I get it. If that's what you're dealing with in the hobby, that it's easy to become a troll. It's easy to become a naysayer. It's easy to become somebody who's trying to take bricks out of what somebody else is building. And that doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. There are a lot of people out there who want to tell you what to do when they've never done anything themselves, right? I mean, I make people laugh. You know, Josh and Chris, they had Ken Golden on live, and I'm in the comments last night. And, you know, I make jokes about, you know, Ken's like laying there with a pillow. I'm like, hey, Ken, get comfy, get a pillow. And Chris, you can see that Chris, like, you know, like,
can I say something about Josh though?
Yeah,
dude, the guy's never been happier. When Josh is smiling and laughing, that's my favorite Josh. That dude's a charismatic dude when he's smiling and laughing.
He was on vacation, still called into this stuff. But the point is, here's those guys laughing, smiling, doing their thing. They've built something that's amazing. And yet there are still trolls. There are still people who say that card ladder is bad. There's still people who say, those guys have issues. There's still people that, why? What for? Right? What have you done? What did you do that was better? Where's your card elevator or whatever you're going to call it to compete with card ladder? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of nitpickiness. There's a lot of it's sort of what you were talking about, man. It's funny. I woke up today and my daughter, Leah, the artist of the Tigers, by the way, she said, hey, you going to check on Andrew? He seemed really mad the last couple of days. and just make sure he's okay. He was using some bad language. I'm like, oh, he has a right to be, right? So, he's a little angry. We get 95% of what we get is the most amazing stuff in the world. We really do. I got a nice letter from Bottom Ninth Cards with a Pete Sampras card, and I posted it on Instagram. Just basically saying thanks for what we do. A nice little letter in there. We get stuff like that. We get comments all the time from folks about how, on the top side, how we changed their life and how, they're willing to invest in something and take a gamble on us because we've made them so much money and we've helped them along the way so many times. That's 90% of what we get. But the other 5 or 10%, it's amazing the geniuses that are in the hobby. It's amazing how smart everybody is. It's amazing that everybody knows what I'm doing is wrong and that they can do it better. Guys, please do it. I'll invest in you because I'll invest in anybody in the hobby. Buster Scher, who we've had on the show, he did microphone NFTs, right? He's like, I'm going to do one for every episode. I bought the wrong ones. I thought I was buying the Rob G episode. I don't think he sold that one. I think he kept it. He's smart, Buster. I tried to buy the AJV one. Buster kept it. I don't think that one was ever really for sale. Smart Buster. I went for the ones, but the numbers were wrong. There was a little.
It was a little bit complicated because his names it by the who he has on the show, but on NFT, like on OpenSea, it was by the number, so it's a little tough.
It was odd. There were like 2 off. There were like 100, 402. But anyway, I bought 5 of them, including the Darren Rovell one. I told you, Rovell, what you got to do. You got to buy a tiger. You buy a tiger. You buy a tiger, and I'll send you your episode. But in any event, that's somebody he's in our world, right? He's been on our show. He collects cards. It's somebody who we can support. That was how I support him. What is that? $1,000? Okay, great. Here you go. You got it, Buster. I don't think you bought a tiger yet, though, and I'm watching. But in any event, the point being, of course, is you support each other. I get a card ladder account. I tell people how awesome card ladder is. Slab Shelf. It's a cool product. Show your slabs. Cool product. Are they competitive products? Sure. Are they both awesome? Yeah. Can we talk about them both? Go right ahead.
We've brought on a lot of competitors onto our show too. If you really think about it, like even just think about our sponsor HGA. Even though that's our sponsor, we've brought on CSG. We've brought on PSA twice. We've reached out to Beckett and we've reached out to SGC. We want to give everyone a chance. Yep. We don't think it's money out of our pocket to bring other people on and hear their story. We think that that's right. We think that the cream kind of rises to the top. And I think there's something to be said about that. And I think that's why people mess with those cages because they know that we're going to give it to them straight, but we're also going to support you and be your biggest fan and biggest cheerleader too because we want to see people win.
Unless you're Michael Porter Jr., then I will not be your cheerleader. I apologize.
Well, he hasn't been on the show yet. Guys, a funny YouTube comment. So it was the day, speaking of the Venom Day. So someone says, listen to Cage's advice and played it for my wife. Unfortunately, I played the wrong part, and it was Andrew saying opinions are like assholes. She stormed out of the room. I guess I'll have to wait until tomorrow to show her my Tiger NFT.
There we go. That's it. Tigers. Well, listen, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. So you asked, what can we do? What can we do to replace the liquidity? What can we do in the hobby to kind of get that stuff going? People are doing it, right? But part of what I'm going to call it animosity, part of what my rant here is about today is that there are ways to backfill the areas where we're closed now. Read PSA, right? If you don't want to pay $150. There are ways to do it. But people are stubborn, right? I think that's really the summary of it, right? And people don't want to get out of their comfort zone, myself included, guys, right? Sometimes it takes a while to get yourself started. Sometimes it takes a while to get into something different, right? But maybe it's everything, but our hobby is so full of this is the way, and everything else is not. I don't know if everybody watches Mandalorian or what the story is, but like everybody is so like, my way is the way to do this, and everybody else's way, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not gonna look at this potential way of doing it. HGA, what a joke. I mean, come on. There are people making money grading with HGA. I got my grades back, by the way.
From HGA?
Online. I got my grades. I'm not going to say what they are. I'm not going to say how I did or anything like that because they haven't, it's through they have like a toolbar now. So it's through the process where the grades are in. They're doing the labels now, and then they'll seal them and send them to me. It was a 60-day, it's 60 business days. And we're still well within that. Hopefully I get them back in the next couple of weeks, and I'll say it's within the 60 days. I will say that we'll have some stuff to talk about when it comes back. I'll just leave it at that as a nice little teaser. So hopefully we get him back soon, and there's definitely some things to.
Guys, I don't know either. So like I'm intrigued. He's got the he's got the hook in my mouth.
That's it.
I'm real.
No,
okay.
I looked this morning.
What are we going to talk
wow,
about?
Let me look. We got a little HGA. The grades are in. Okay, that's interesting. And I tried to send an assortment of cards in. I mean, I definitely sent some football, some basketball, some baseball. Like I tried to send a nice assortment in of different cards, different brands, stuff that I knew. Like one of them I knew was off center, and see what they gave me on it. And I'll spoil. I got an 8 centering on that one. So. But I got 2 10s in the other grades. It was 10 on corners and a 10 on surface on that one. It just happened to have an 8 in centering. But in any event, I knew it wasn't a 10 card. So in any event, that'll be fun. There's a lot of fun stuff. But the point is, right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, my way of doing it. That's the only way. You know who is a good example? We had KK on a long time ago, right? And he was a PSA grader, right? If he thought like that, guys. And this is a business. If he thought like, hey, the way I'm doing it's the only way to do it, he'd be out of business. And the people he hired wouldn't be there anymore. He would have to lay them off. But instead, you roll with the punches. You find a different way to do it. And you say, you know what? PSA was the way for me, but PSA closed. I don't have that. I'm gonna do group subs with other people, right? It wasn't just, oh wow, I'm not gonna. He found a way to do it, get through, continue on the path, still find a way to provide value for people, and it's about pivoting. It's about being open to different stuff. You get what I'm saying or no?
I do. And let me ask the community, guys, this is open, open for debate. Like, how do we stimulate the card hobby? How do we get more activity in the card hobby? How do we get more money into the card hobby? I'm curious if you guys have any answers, any ideas, we're all for it. Well, we're happy to use our platform if you guys want to come in a group setting and discuss, right? Because I hope to finish the year strong. I mean, we have, Card Ladder, I talked about it. Chris Hodge put out that awesome kind of like Bermuda Triangle. So as we head into the end of the year, I would love to see, not all cards go up in prices, but it would be nice to see an influx of demand is, I guess, what I'm saying. Now, let's get into my play. Okay, Cage?
Woo!
Do you have any other topics? Anything that's interesting? You could...
I got lots of topics. But we can talk about your play. I'll talk about baseball roles that I play. That's what I was going to talk about, kind of like how playoffs are going to happen soon.
Let's go there because I wanted to talk about baseball. Guys, today it's the Yankees, Red Sox are playing for the wild card spot. You love to see it, right?
Well, listen, what's funny is the Red Sox are kind of sitting pretty. I was talking to my friend Al, who is a Red Sox fan today, and he's pretty smart about it, right? Because there's only about 8 games left. We play the Red Sox now. We're a game behind the Red Sox. We play them for the next 2 games. The Red Sox are ahead of us by a game, ahead of the Yankees by a game, and Toronto is 3 back. So after we leave Boston, we play 3 games in Toronto. So chances are we both can't catch Boston, right?
Yep.
Because we're either going to split.
Cage, you're only behind Boston by 1 game.
Yeah, 1 game. So
and the Mariners guys are on a tear. Don't forget
the Mariners out west. Yep.
Cage at the beginning of the season, he said, I love what that team is building. They're young, but they're going to be good for years ahead. So the Mariners are this interesting team. They've won 6 in a row, but on the year, they have a negative 52 run differential. But they're 2 games out of the wild card.
They're just winning. And you know who's winning? The Cardinals. The Cardinals, they have a 14-game win streak. It's just some craziness. We talk about them. We talk about them as like a model organization, during the years where they were in the World Series. They just found a way to win even without, they had pools. It was playing team ball. Cardinals are they're on a little bit of a tear over there. They don't lose. it's great to see some different teams like the Giants be talked about as a great team. The Padres, man, they just kind of fell off.
Can I talk about that?
Sure.
So I'm sort of sick of the narrative that in baseball, MVP is an individual award. And I understand that baseball is the most like team game in the sense that you have 1 out of 9 chance to impact. But I also think that's completely short-sighted in the sense that leadership is also in the locker room, right? And how you end the season, to me, that shows what kind of culture you've built as the best player on that team. To me, you can't give Tatis the MVP. It's unacceptable in my eyes. Because most valuable player implied is to the team, right? So, okay, that's partially a statistical award. That's partially a team performance award. And that's also partially how you end the season award. So if you start the season great and you tail off and finish the season, can you call this a slump? This is embarrassing, man. They've lost, I think, like 15 out of their last 20 games. He's striking out all over the place. They're fighting in the dugout. How can you give someone an MVP award that ended the year poorly? Their team's not going to be in the playoffs, and he's regressed as on defense and on offense.
Oh, Ohtani is probably going to win the American League. It fits every one of those categories too. The team's not doing well. He had a great beginning and is falling off, and his team's not going to make the playoffs. MVP in baseball is a little bit different, but I get exactly what you're saying. What you're talking about is that it's not just stats. I always looked at the MVP as, what kind of value does he have? Put him on a different team. What kind of values he have? Almost like a war type of thing, right? And what you're saying, I think, is that, if Tatis is the MVP, he would be doing something to, bolster the morale, get in there in the locker room and like stem the tide a little bit, go and be a leader in the clubhouse and say, we got to turn this around, despite the fact that their pitching is just terrible. I mean, unless he goes out there and takes the mound, I don't know exactly what he is supposed to do. There's only so much one person can do, which is
it's this thing. It's not his fault, but it's his responsibility as an MVP, right? Like, I'm not saying that you blame him for not doing that thing, but I also don't think you could reward someone with a most valuable player award if these things aren't happening when other players do have that impact, when other players are taking their team into the playoffs. And like, why is nobody on the Giants in contention to be most valuable player? Because they're the ultimate team.
Yeah, because nobody there has. I mean, listen, you can throw a little special sauce on top of like team success and like morale and stuff, but ultimately, MVP award is supposed to be for the most valuable player, not the best player on the best team. Sometimes they're one and the same, but it's still supposed to be the person who did the most, and the person who was the most valuable player to that team. And I mean, if you can make the argument, if Tatis wasn't there, the team would be doing even worse. That's kind of the way the argument goes, right? Whereas, the Giants, Posey's great, but what did he really add? You could say there's morale and stuff like that to the team, but stat-wise, it's nothing that kind of jumps out at you, statistical-wise. That's going to say, wow, that's great. It's funny, we talked about Harper, passing Tatis, and that night you have Harper, like sliding into home, beating out and winning the game. It's just funny because, there are definitely people who are they're taking it home. The home stretch is not where they've rested and let their team down and kind of like take their foot off the gas. Juan Soto, I mean, that team not going anywhere, but he is having a monstrous statistical year here. We talked about, by the way, go back. That was also, you're not going to win the MVP, but in that same, Ohtani's not going to hit more than 15 home runs. I said Soto will be in the running for the MVP. I said he might win the MVP, actually. But a lot of that was because I didn't trust the Mets. I said the Mets were in the lead in the division. I don't trust the Mets hanging on to that. So it's more that I thought somebody was going to catch the Mets, and I was saying it was going to be the Nationals. Turned out to not be. But it was because of Soto and just, how he went on a tear. He started that off. That's Townie Cards, I think, was the person who was like, Soto's amazing, Bryce Harper's amazing. These guys will win the MVP. It's not going to be Tatis. And yeah, I love it because this time I'll watch baseball now. These games, they start to matter. You know what I mean? They start to baseball. The tough part about baseball is that the season's so damn long. like you just look at the Yankees. They went on like a 9-1 streak, and then went on like a 2-13 streak, and it didn't matter because here they are now. They got the last week. They're playing the Red Sox and Toronto, and those are the teams that they're a little behind, a little ahead, and these are the games that matter. Basically, what happened for the last 4 months become irrelevant. So it's just crazy, It really is crazy. But it's fun. It's good to watch.
So, guys, a few comments here. So, Uber Collector, I mean, if you guys look at Uber Collector, he's got one of the most interesting collections in the game. And back on our topic of is there enough money in the hobby, he said he thinks there's plenty of money in the hobby right now. So, he said, I can't hardly win an auction. So, we could be off.
By the way,
I got to give you some love.
Yeah.
I got to give you some love. So, it's funny what's happened with this Luca Nation NFT. And I'm not going to pretend to have the entire roadmap here. I'm not going to sit here and say that. Because I would have never predicted this. So we're having some fun last night, Friday night, doing giveaways, chatting on our Discord. Shout out to our Discord if you guys want to join. Feel free. It's in our bio. Uber Collector says, guys, I love what you do. I want to be a part of this. I'm going to give you a Kirby Puckett PSA 10 card to whoever mints number 252. Right? I think that was it.
The next one. Whoever buys the next one.
Whoever buys the next one. So think about that, guys. This is someone who has no reason to put his own money and finance on the line. And he does that to support us and to support this community because he sees we're building something special. We have big heart. We want people to have a good time and be a part of it. So thank you. That's incredibly generous.
Well, let's take it a step further. Everybody
who run our fantasy football leagues, who also, we're doing every 4 weeks, we're going to give away a slab to the highest point earner.
Back to Uber Collector for a second. Take a look at his Instagram page. One of the sickest collections of cards. Just amazing stuff. Chat with him all the time. His daughter is also an artist, but a legit artist. Some great stuff out there.
Hey. Leah is a legit artist.
Come on. I like the Tigers, but his daughter is legit, like legit stuff. And let's take it one step further, right? Because we want to talk about how karma works. How this was not the intention. But of course, Uber Collector was the one who put that card up as a giveaway, and that was the one that Brett won. So last night, Uber Collector and Brett are chatting on Instagram, and now they are they're shooting the shit about card collections and about what Panini is doing and what Uber Collector has as far as a collection, and it's like a cool look at that. Wasn't the intention, but that's what ends up happening, and I love that. I love those kind of stories.
So the answer to people's question, like what does the power of community really mean, right? Like when we say we're launching this NFT, people ask, well, what does the power of community mean? Well, it's undefined, but it looks a little bit like what you just saw right there. So I don't know if that's any value to you, but I think it's value to a lot of people. So you want to get into your baseball play? Mine's a football play.
Sure, man. I mean, listen, my play is take a look at Juan Soto.
Nice.
I like the Heritage card. If you don't want to jump on like the Topps Chrome, I like his Heritage card. Just so that everybody knows, Leighton is a fun one here. I own one of those Heritage Juan Sotos. It is not a base. It is the flip stock where there's only 5 of them and there's only one PSA 10, and I own that. So I do want to make sure I put that one out there, before I give the play. I like that Heritage card. If you don't want to go to Topps Chrome, if you want to go to Topps Chrome, that's fine. Juan Soto, man, I'm not telling you to buy it now. Because right now, people are talking about him. He's finishing the season great. You got something you want to say? And then I can go back to Soto? Go for it. Shoot.
I don't know if I should.
No, please. People are watching on YouTube. They don't want to know. So go for it.
So I monitor our chats, and someone shared this in our chat. So
nice.
I'll share my screen.
Yay.
Oh, man.
Tony Soprano. I can't really see it so well. Is that the whole set? Somebody bought the Tony Soprano set?
Well, yeah. So Soprano cards ahead of Many Saints of Newark. Card Talk Pod.
That's awesome. Wait, no. When did they post that?
2 hours ago.
Maybe they bought the set that I gave as a play. Who knows? I don't know. Listen, I love the Call Talk.
We're all friends.
I love you guys. I hope it's a great play. If you came up with it, spectacular. Well done. The movie's coming out. Everybody probably has the same idea. You know, it doesn't really take much for the brain to say, okay. So I'm sure you probably had that independently, and that's fine. It's a great call. And the movie looks really good. So anyway, Juan Soto, there'll be an opportunity for you to buy him soon, right? He is. I'm telling you to look now because I want you to write it down, right? You don't have to buy it today. You don't have to buy it tomorrow, but that should be your off-season play, right? Juan Soto, he should be one of the favorites coming into next season to win the NL MVP. The team will be great. The team will be fine. He's as young as they come. He's already won. He's already done all kinds of craziness, and he's just building on it. We talk about these youngsters. Tatis is another one also. What is he, 22, 23 years old? I mean, just the career they're going to have ahead of him is great, but Juan Soto already has a ring, and that's a huge difference. It just puts him already in a different category, in a different place from all these young stars. Whatever your preference is, I think the safest play is to go get yourself a PSA 10, Topps Chrome of him, just the base. But if you're an auto guy, go for an auto. If that's what you like, go for the Bowman first auto. Soto stuff, there'll be an opportunity in a month when people are chasing basketball cards. Basketball season started. Baseball will be in the playoffs. Football will be in full swing. And nobody will be caring about Juan Soto at all because he just won't be anywhere. And baseball offseason will come. There'll be an opportunity for you to buy your Juan Soto cards then. And most likely sell him before the season even starts or hang on to him because I think he's gonna be doing big things. Every year it happens. Right? Every year Juan Soto does something. He goes on a tear. He goes on a 1 month or a 3-week thing where you're like, wow, I wish I had more Juan Soto cards. So there's my fun play. I like the Heritage one if you're looking for a low end, like an easier entry. What else? You got more stuff going on YouTube?
No, I just would love to see you on the Card Talk pod, man. I think that would be a fun collab. And I think those guys will invite you. I do. I would love to see you on that pod. Luca Nation, if you want to see that collab happen, let us know because that'll be fun. No,
I would love to do it, but I think they've made it clear that it's not something they're interested in. Plus, they already have 3 guys. That's a lot of opinions. You know what I mean? That's a lot of stuff going on there. And I would love it. If I got asked, I would be there the day they ask. I would clear my schedule. I'd love to be on there. I love each and every one of those guys. Known them all for a long time. And they've all been on our show. They've all been really gracious with their time. If they thought that I could provide value to their audience, I would 100%. I would accept that invite, without hesitation at all.
So this is like I called Cage and I was like, Cage, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner. These guys were incredible. Like they kind of changed the game. I mean, short passes. I think they had like the most yards in a season ever. And Cage says, that's my play. I gave Isaac Bruce as a play a while ago. Yeah, and not only that, this guy had the best receiving season as a player, second to, was it Jerry Rice?
Yes. I have a huge Isaac Bruce collection, guys. And I actually sent in one of my bulks way back, like August. I sent in a finest rookie of his, like a finest refractor that I pulled out of a pack myself. And it came back a 7. So, these cards, they're hard to grade. They are. Yeah, take a look, man. Take a look at like if you don't mind, if we have some time, just type in top receiving yard seasons, I think it would be receiving yard seasons in NFL history per season, right? Like most receiving yards in a season. I forget what season it was at the time. I think it might have been 95 or 96. Isaac Bruce was a rookie in 94. And he had some cool rookie cards, a little undersized, really fast. And he was not like a highly touted player. 94 was Marshall Faulk. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson for Cincinnati was a top pick. Heath Schuler, Trent Dilfer, Super Bowl winner from 94. He was drafted with Tampa Bay and won one with the Ravens. So, some big names that year. Isaac Bruce was not one of the big names. The big receiving names like Darnay Scott for the Bengals. But he was just, that offense. Torrey Holt came after, but Isaac Bruce was, he was amazing. You see, is it 95?
95, he had 17,000 yards. It's 17,081 yards. Only the second to Jerry Rice, who in 1995 had 18,048 yards.
Yeah, 1,800. Yeah.
Leaders. So it's since been broken because, like I said, they kind of did change the game. No one threw the ball that much. In the 90s, people ran the ball. I mean, they gave Marshall Faulk probably 30 touches a game. Yeah. So since then, Calvin Johnson had almost 2,000 yards in 2012. and Antonio Brown had 1,834 yards in 2015. Ironically, Julio Jones, who's second on the list, had 1,871 yards in 2015.
So what's funny, you guys all know those names. Everybody knows Julio Jones. Everybody knows Jerry Rice. Everybody knows Calvin Johnson. Right? Isaac Bruce is not a name that's on that list. But in 95, if Jerry Rice didn't have that season, in the same season, Isaac Bruce would have had the best receiving season ever in the history of the NFL. He would have the most receiving yards.
And here's where it gets good.
Amazing.
That wouldn't have been touched for 17 years. So that was a record that stood for a long time. And guys, I don't know if you're like this. Like, to me, one of my favorite movies ever is Miracle. I love underdog stories, man. So what's happening? On Christmas Day, many of you guys might have seen this. They're releasing the movie called The Underdog Story, The True Underdog Story. I think it's actually what it's called. And my play today is Kurt Warner cards. I mean, first off, who doesn't love an underdog story? I think like America kind of prides itself on that. My play's Kurt Warner, but let's have some fun. Cage, that's your era. Which card do we buy? What do you recommend?
Oof. I don't even know. I mean, I would look for, a Topps rookie or a Chrome version of it. I would really, want to do a deep dive. I wish I knew you were doing it. I would have done some research. We got to go back into the Cage recesses. I believe that Kurt Warner played for an arena football team called the Iowa Barnstormers. Please check me on that because I don't want to be wrong. But, sometimes the brain.
1995 to 1997.
I wonder if
he went to the Amsterdam Admirals in 98 and then St. Louis Rams 1998 to 2003.
So, I mean, there's got to be a 98 or 99 Topps Chrome rookie of him. They were out that year. Those are the ones I'd look for. And that would be the Kurt Warner card that, I would say is the way. I mean, the finest was out at the time, but, Top Chrome kind of stood the test of time on those for rookie cards. I wonder if SP has a card, I mean, I know Terrell Owens had one in 96, it's a cool one with like red on it and stuff like that. So I would imagine, there's probably an SP one.
Look at this card. This is a Contenders card. 15K or best off.
That's a lot. But
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But I always like to do this. This is how, when I don't know what to buy, this is what I do. I search Kurt Warner rookie card, and I always search highest to lowest. It gives me kind of a temperature in the market.
What about like highest sold instead of like for sale?
Sure. Why not? Dude, here's a Contenders autographed. That's a PSA 9 for $1,200. Wow. So we're not talking crazy amount for someone who's not only a Hall of Famer, who's someone who I believe is one of the more kind of he doesn't have a lot of enemies, and he does have a fan base that could grow. And he's young. Like, would it surprise you? Here's a PSA 9 Contenders on-card auto out of 1825 that sold on July 7th for $549.
Yeah, it's pretty
What's
cool.
cool about this? Here's the Iowa Barnstormers card.
There is one? There's an Iowa Barnstormers card? Oh,
sold for $2,000, Cage.
Look at that. See, that's what I know him as. So that story's going to be
Taco John's.
This dude he was stocking groceries. Like, that's the story. You know his story. I mean, he was working in a grocery store, like stocking shelves, putting like cereal on the shelves, and playing the Arena League, and he wound up becoming a multi Super Bowl winner. Right? He won the Super Bowl, he won the MVP, and then did he take Arizona to the Super Bowl also? Was he the quarterback of the team that went and lost in Arizona? He might have taken the team to the Super Bowl there. He wound up the quarterback for the Giants, was ultimately replaced by Eli Manning. So you want to talk about the stuff that you could definitely make a movie about. This guy's life. He's got a huge family. I think it's cool.
It wouldn't surprise me. So never count out an underdog. It wouldn't surprise me if he becomes a GM in the league someday, if he does something with the league, because when you have somebody who's been counted out their whole life, had to kind of scrape and claw to get even to the league and then stay in the league, that's someone I want to bet on. And you have his story in this movie, and I expect a run-up. It's funny to see, by the way, another thing I look at is Kurt Warner rookie card sold. Not a lot of activity. And I do expect as November, December comes around, there may be more. And I do expect maybe a collaboration with the NFL too, right? To see, does the NFL, because that's right in the peak of the season. Do you start seeing the underdog story commercials as you're watching the games? And I think you will. That's my play. I think it's actually, I'm going to make this a 3-star play because of how cheap it is. I don't think these cards are going any lower or going to zero, but I don't think there's been a run-up. And another thing, maybe go on Card Ladder. Take a look. Do some of your own research and to see which is the right Kurt Warner card to play. Do you take a look at Marshall Faulk? Do you look at Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce? There's top to bottom. There's some opportunities here. But guys, check it out. The movie's called The True Underdog Story. It's coming out on Christmas.
Cage. Listen, I just have one memory going through my brain. In my fraternity house doing fantasy football in the 90s when we used to draft and keep score by looking at the newspaper.
Like writing it down.
We write it down and everybody's draft. And I remember one of my fraternity brothers drafted Irving Bruce because it just said I Bruce. And yeah, so he was Irving Bruce. That was what we called him from now. We take Irving Bruce. So yeah, sorry. It's just one of those things that just sticks with me whenever we hear about Isaac Bruce. I love the play. I mean, look, if Vince Papale cards can become relevant in that, dude, what did he do? You know, I mean, because they made a movie about him. Yeah, I mean, this is just it's the cycle, right? You know, there's going to be more attention. When there's more attention, there is demand. When there's demand, the supply is not increasing, most likely. Whatever Kurt Warner cards are out there. So, yeah, that's a cool play. It's funny. I can make a play on The Sopranos because there's a movie coming out. Why can't you make a play on a quarterback who's got a movie coming out? It's on brand, you know. So I like it.
I think we got to everything. So tomorrow, guys, Whatnot, 10 a.m. Really, really excited. It's kind of one of my favorite. It's become kind of like something I look forward to. It's easy. It's light. Like we just go live on Whatnot, 10 a.m. Eastern. You guys on the West Coast, 7 a.m. You roll out of bed, join in. You ask us questions there. We do some giveaways. We do some auctions. We talk about the games on the board. Listen, I'll let you guys know. I'll give you a quick preview. Just 1 second.
Yeah, go.
To me, and I think this line will change, it's a gift to have the Buccaneers at a pick'em versus the Road Rams. That's going to be my play of the week. Buccaneers prove to me that why'd you make that face? Prove to me that you could beat Tom Brady.
I can't believe that's the spread. I can't believe.
Yeah, it's -2. -2.
I can't believe it. I thought it would be like 6.5. That's great.
That's my play of the week. But I'll talk to you guys more about that.
Is there anybody in the YouTube there? I mean, people are making comments and stuff like that. Let me throw this out there, guys. I mean, if you're on Whatnot, that's great. Hopefully you join us tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern time. We'll do our picks. We've put in some auctions. Just shipped out to Bo Jackson. KC Gold. So KC, this is another member of Luca Nation, bought the Tigers, had never bought NFTs before, now has multiple Tigers, KC Gold, and also messaged us and is like, hey, I want to give something away. I got a Bo Jackson, the awesome, iconic Bo Jackson. I think it was one of your plays with the shoulder pads and the bat, the scorecard. And he's like, I got this in PSA 9. Nice card, really nice card. I wanted to message him back and say, if I buy a Tiger, can I get it? but so it was a winner grabbed it, boom, and you know who won it? One of the double coverage guys won it with one of the awesome stuff that they got there. With the cigar and the suit and the chat with you, and you make them all rich. So, listen.
Let's send some love to our Australia guys too. They're going through some bullshit out there, and I want to send them some love because, I mean, if I got locked in a cage and had to live like that for even a week, I would be pissed. But they've been dealing with some stuff, and we interact with the Australia guys a ton. Saucy double coverage guys. I mean, I can't. I know all of their Instagrams. I don't know all their names. Yeah. It's kind of that thing. But like
Azuro cards, and Anthony collects, and the whole crew, man.
I like people that don't put their burden of like when things are tough on you. They're always positive. They're always kind. They're always supportive. So like, let's send some love to our Australian people because Australian fans, because tough situations.
Listen, I support them when I can. The other day I ordered Outback. So I mean, when I can support the Australians, I do. A Bloomin' Onion. Nobody should have slept anywhere near me after that Bloomin' Onion. But the more important.
Would you rather be a tiny kangaroo
or
inside of a bigger kangaroo's pocket, or would you rather be a big kangaroo and always have to carry around a kangaroo in your?
This is very easy for any dad. You always are the bigger one. You carry the little ones around. I mean, I've spent the last decade.
My Parks and Recs fans will know what that's from.
So here, and I'm not, but here's what I promised the Australians. If Andrew and I have to get in a canoe and paddle from the east coast of America to Australia and smuggle you guys out to get you to the National this coming year, we're gonna avoid the Black Hawk helicopters and stuff that are keeping you in your houses. We will find a way to get you to the National. We're gonna smuggle you out like the Tasmanian Devil in the boxes in the cartoons. We'll get you out of there. We promise. But I mean, listen, all love for those guys. What I was going to ask the chat if they're able to comment, on the whatnot tomorrow, 10 Eastern time. We're going to give our picks. We do some auctions in there, and it's not really like auctions like, wow, I gotta make some money on these auctions. It's just to have a little bit of fun. Throw some low end stuff. You guys can get some rookie cards. You guys can get some quarterbacks. Get some fun. Cheap $10, $11, $12. Trevor Lawrence and that kind of stuff. People liked them. I sent them all out last week. I was wondering whether or not you guys were interested in some rookie position players, like a lot of like Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and those guys as part of the thing. Also, 4, 5, 6 cards of those guys for a couple bucks. We'll start it at $1, whatever it goes for. Or is that a waste? Should I just stick with quarterbacks or do a little bit of both? So, if you have some comments in there, I have some like Justin Jefferson cards. I have some Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like some CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, wide receivers. Sometimes position players don't, they don't play. I happen to think the last year's receiving class is one of the best out there. But I'm curious to see what you guys want because I could load up those auctions. And, if you guys want some position players, I'll load some of those up too. So let me know.
Last thing, and this is why our community is the best. I mean, shout out to MBT Will Martin. So he does like a breakdown. He's going to do a daily fantasy breakdown and prop bet that I'm going to look over tonight, and I'm going to give you guys a recap of what he recommended. And this is someone who works 40, 50, 60 hours a week, who's like, hey, we want to help out the community. I've been doing daily fantasy and prop betting for a long time. Let me share what I've learned. So, I mean, that's the power of community, guys. Final thing, it's my little sister's birthday today, guys. And you guys that know me,
get to it.
Yeah, if you guys that know me, you guys know how much I love my sister. She's my best friend. She's changed my life because she's so different from me, and she's even keeled. She's not argumentative, she's not opinionated, but she's such a good balance in our home that as she's gotten older, she's helped our family life a ton. She's helped me professionally. She's helped me interact with people and learn. Because I used to be a hothead, guys. Hothead, very opinionated, very argumentative, and she showed me a lot about Andrew, here's a better way to get your message across. And this is someone who's 10 years younger than me, so got to give her love. I'm so proud of her. So happy birthday, Ariel.
So it's amazing how far we've come. Happy birthday. How much bigger the audience is now. It reminds me. We were about 2 months into this fun last time your sister's birthday came around. It was started in July, and it's a September birthday. And I asked Luca Nation to send birthday wishes to Ariel Goldberg. Do it again. There's more of you. And if you don't want to be that creepy guy that tries to slide into the DMs, please don't. Andrew posted a nice picture of his family on Instagram today. Go check it out. He wishes his sister a happy birthday on there. Just drop a little comment in there and wish her a happy birthday, tag her, and she'll see the love from Luca Nation. So we appreciate that, guys.